Previously on the channel, I reviewed the Wallefpv Lightening3 and I found a problem with it. When you go to 100% on the throttle for a few seconds and then down to 0 and then do a roll, you get this jerky movement that feels a little bit like a failsafe, but it's not, because I tried a few things. So I made sure that the Express LRS version on the receiver was identical to the one on the GX12. I put the RSSI and the link quality on the on-screen display and there were no problems there. There was also no telemetry lost warnings coming on the radio itself. Now normally when this happens, I just post the video and hope that the manufacturer sees it and applies some sort of fix. And everybody who is thinking of buying it at least knows that the problem is there. If I sit in this field all day tuning a manufacturer's bind and fly quad, they won't learn from it and it will allow them to continue releasing products that aren't quite ready for the public. And this is bad because I've seen it so many times. People buy a bind and fly model and there's a problem with it and it's not quite right. They give up, and that's what we don't want for this brilliant hobby. Now, Wallefpv have contacted me about this and they are looking at a fix. So what I thought I'd do is try and come up with a solution myself, and you can follow along the way, and maybe it's helpful for your micro quad or quad in general. Some of the things that I try may not fix this model, but it might be something you've not thought about with your own build. Also, this model might be great to add one of the new DJI O4 wides to. I don't know if it will fit yet, but I know that it needs to fly better if we're going to add more weight, because I think weight is key to what is wrong with this model. I spoke to Ian from Mads Tech and he couldn't replicate the problem, and I believe some people won't be able to replicate the problem, but I do think it's on all of them. I've watched a couple of videos of other people and seen the problem there, and it's passed off as a link quality issue, a range issue, some kind of failsafe, which I don't blame them because that's what it feels like. It's not that. So what I'm going to do, we're in a different location here today. It's much cooler. It was 32 degrees C when I reviewed this. It's now 21 degrees C. It's still windy. I've got the 720 milliamp hour 2S on there. It's the bigger of the battery. Let's fly it and make sure that it still has the problem. So, what I think is causing the problem is actually the motors. I think it's the lack of torque. I think the prop is stalling. So I'm going to start with the motors. My theory is these motors give plenty of power, but they actually don't have enough torque for this size of model. So it's a, there we go, it's a 10 stator motor, and I think 12 will be better. So we're going up on the throttle and then down on the throttle and then a roll. It did it just slightly there, but yes, confirms that the problem is still there. It's actually a slow roll. I thought I had remembered it. I thought I'd remembered it as a fast roll, but it's up on the throttle, down, and then a slow roll. So as the quad is on the downfall, the prop starts windmilling. It's done it in both directions though. And like I say, it's very specific, but when it happens, oof, you know about it. It catches you because you think that's a failsafe, but it's not. Oh, okay, that was a big one. Full throttle then, up high. So, oh yeah, okay. That's scary. It can happen for like a long amount of time actually. So what can we do about this? Well, let's get on the laptop and have a look. So the first thing I look at with something like this is the dynamic idle. And let's see if it's turned on. So we need bidirectional D-shot for that, which is turned on. And then if we go into PID tuning, let's see what we have got. Scroll down. Dynamic idle, 0. Okay, this is a big culprit. So what dynamic idle does is when the quad is falling and you've got that rush of air going through the prop and windmilling, what dynamic idle does is it sort of detects that and lifts the idle up. And we can set a value here. Now it's in terms of RPM with a couple of zeros removed from it. So if we try 42 on the dynamic idle and save, this could potentially just be what it is. I'm not sure why they haven't got that on anyway. It's a good thing to have on. A downside of dynamic idle is this is a floaty quad, and when you are inverted you can lose hang time. So there might be other stuff that we can do, but for a quick fix, let's try that. Alright, let's see how this is. It's fixed! Now it takes a few tries to make the thing happen. Nothing doing. Still nothing doing. Nothing doing. There is, you know, there is a slight gurgle on this model when you go up on the throttle. They really, I'm afraid, have not tuned this the best. I have not managed a full flight without it doing it. Let's do a big one. Whoa, looking good. That AndyRC is a genius, you know. Certified. Not a genius, just been doing this for what? 15 years. It's really why I started the channel, because back in the day, there wasn't the information out there. And it was just quicker to make a video when you found something cool out. I have to admit though, I wasn't expecting this to completely fix the problem. Oh well, there you go, thanks for watching. One thing I do want to fix with this, or look at, is the I-term. Should not be bouncing or bobbing like that on the throttle. Come on, is that all you've got? Is that all it was? Man, the amount of times I was sent a model from Diatone, RIP. I say RIP, but I have it on good authority that the designer of this model is ex-Diatone, also ex-GapRC, which is unusual because I used to get this with Diatone models a lot. Anyone got the 369? That thing would not even fly. And then I did a tune for it, and I said, this is what I did, Diatone, here's my CLI, and then they sent that exact CLI out to all of their customers who had bought one already, because back in the day, it would go on sale the same time as reviewers got it. It would land on the website, and then you'd see it on the website and go, huh, either buy it and then review it, or if you were lucky, you got sent it. I say lucky. If you were unlucky, you got sent it and the thing wouldn't fly, and then silly me would spend hours tuning for free, and they would sell loads of them, and I would drive home in my 20-year-old Astra Well, it's not done it for this flight, so I'm going to need to put a few more packs through it to make sure. Oh, I mean, yeah, that was a big dive. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's such a simple thing. If you are building quads, it should be a given, that setting. But yeah, okay. Well, that's a 5-minute flight done there. Well, there we go. Right, so when trying to see whether the dynamic idle has fixed the motor desync issue, I've tried to do a bit of PID tuning, so I'll just take you through what I have done. I've reduced the P gain on the roll. That gurgling sound that this quad has when you go up on the throttle, it's the roll P gain too high, and it sort of shakes the model side to side and causes that gurgling. We've also reduced the D gain on there as well. Now for the pitch, I've actually increased the P gain a little bit. I'm not happy with this at all, but it needs more tuning, but this is sort of my thought process. With this quad, I think you do need to tune the roll and pitch separately. So we've gone higher on there to make it more snappy, and higher on the D max as well. And the I gain I have pinned at 75, but anything that I do with this quad for the I gain doesn't seem to help that bobbing thing. Could just be a center of gravity thing with this quad, something like that, but I think I've improved it slightly. Something else that I have done is turned on anti-gravity. It was not turned on, and set the gain at 8. And also under the feed forward, we have the boost at 25, just knock that up a little bit, see if that helped, but it doesn't really that much. And on the I-term relax, I have cut that down to 10. Like I say, it's very subtle improvements, but not perfect. But at least the quad is not gurgling under throttle anyway. There is definitely more that I could do, but I think this quad is flying a bit nicer. And let's see if the dynamic idle has completely fixed this issue with the desync, because that was really the main issue with the model. And really, I think Wallefpv needs a better tune for this quad. But you know, you can fly through it though. That's the thing with quads. You can have a really loose tune and fly the quad in a smooth way, and it looks like it's got a nice tune. And so that's sort of what I've gone for here, but there's definitely room for improvement. For example, you could mess with the filters, try biquad and mess around with that, black box and all that. There's so many videos on YouTube about that, so this is just sort of a loose tune that I have done to try and get a little bit of improvement, but the main issue is that dynamic idle and the desync. So let's have a see. Right, let's see if this desync thing has fully gone away. Now, before changing the dynamic idle setting, I could not do a single flight without exposing this issue. And I have done maybe 30 flights today, and it's not done it once. So you can take it from me, it's fixed that issue. And what I'm not happy about, the bobbing, what seems to be eye gain bobbing. You would think, oh, just increase the eye gain, turn anti-gravity on like I have. Doesn't seem to do anything. But it's not as bad as it was, it's still there. Come a bit closer, because the other thing, the gurgling on full throttle, pretty much gone, reducing the P gain. What I'm not happy about by doing that, and maybe this is why they chose to have the gurgling, is your roll is a little bit more loose. Now, the gains on the pitch were loose anyways, and they still are a little bit. But if you go up any more than what I have done, then you get other characteristics, gurgling noises. So yeah, difficult tune, a micro quad, but at least that motor desync issue, or the windmilling effect, basically wind rushing through the props and causing the prop to stall. You have dynamic idle, and it predicts that and makes sure that the motors don't go too low on the idle. There are other things that you can do other than dynamic idle. You can mess around with motor timing, the ramp up power and all of that. But I would just stick with the dynamic idle. It's just one setting and it fixes it for good. And you know what? If Wallefpv had done that, it would have been, yeah, actually, go out and buy this. But it's caused me to look at it further. And what I will say is it's difficult to get a good tune out of this quad. It should come with the perfect tune out of the box, but it doesn't, and to improve on that is hard, but I think it's at least better. Now, this tune has been done with the 720 mAh battery, and I do think that's the best battery to use with this. You get longer flight times, less voltage sag. See, that's a 5-minute flight time, sort of giving it death. But yeah, there you go. That is my video on fixing the Wallefpv Lightening3. At least to a point where you can be confident and, you know, do dives without it completely going crazy and desyncing and being unpredictable and things like that. So there you go. I hope this video was useful. You probably see it on Wallefpv models going forward silently, but there you go. Thanks for watching. Cheers.